Rail fanning is fun. You're just watching a bunch of huge heavy machinery rolling down a main line with a bunch of other cars that carry goods from one place to another, but there's always that one thing that we love and know, rail fanning. Rail fanning is just that one term of use when we use it as someone who loves trains, where people just think that you just have like this kid going down by the railroad tracks at a crossing or a station platform with their tripod and their silly little iPad set up to watch a train go by. And sometimes engineers, conductors, or workers in general just despise of all of this. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a lot of people coming into my comments talking about the same thing that I'm already going to uncover. Like, BNSF 1458 has already uncovered this. The Winnipeg Railfan has already uncovered this. So did Moist Critical. I'm surprised that Moist Critical just got himself involved with a Railfan situation that was taken pretty seriously by BNSF police and police in Nebraska in general. And I'm happy that Moist Critical had also got along with this because people say that Moist Critical is a YouTube legend. And let's just put it this way, he is. There is a lot of good YouTube legends out there, especially when it comes to rail fanning. I have some really good friends who also rail fan here in Southern Ontario. You know me, Aries O'Neill, TCSNR, but you might not know my other buddies. Go Transit Railfan, TCSNR, the Halton Sub Railfan, the Strathroy Sub Railfan, the Taylor with Autism 2005, and I have a lot of others that I really can't mention because of memory loss. But I'm just gonna get straight to the point because I don't really do a lot of like railroad yapping in videos, but this is like my first time doing it, so I'm just gonna get straight to the point. So earlier this year, between April 21st or April 22nd, a young YouTuber or rail fan by the name of Capital City Rail Productions was filming a BNSF train in Nebraska where he had mistakenly, quote-unquote mistakenly, misaligned a switch into a spur line and purposely derailed a BNSF train and tried pointing out fingers to someone else who did it, which was absolutely wrong, first of all. And second of all, why would you derail a BNSF train for views? I mean, understanding a lot of car accident videos between cars versus trains and just watching trains derail in general due to defects or just unmaintained track. But literally lining a switch just to see a train derail on camera is a completely different story. Like, why would you do that? Number one of all, that's trespassing. Second of all, that is violating railroad rules. And third of all, that was another one of the first. I don't even know why. I don't even write a script for this kind of stuff. But I'm just gonna have to go along with it. You guys are just gonna have to go along with it. But second and third of all, that is violating railroad property and the rules. And fourth of all, and last, that is damaging railroad property. And obviously, damaging railroad property can cause you to pay a huge fine, or it could put you in jail, depending on what you're doing. So, if you just violate railroad rules, such as trespassing, most people just suffer like a major fine. But sometimes they would also get put in jail because, well, railroads are railroads. They own the property. They own the track. They have all that to themselves. They're multi-million-dollar companies that literally own the high iron and a bunch of rolling stock and road power that runs through your town and city. Not only was this incident bad enough for someone to blame and point out fingers to someone else, but the good news is it was captured on video, but I don't know where it is because it's been captured by surveillance there in Nebraska. But like I said, derailing a train just for views and for the funnies and stuff like that, that is totally wrong. And a lot of people already know that. People just think that derailments are just like silly little things that happen due to defects or weather conditions such as natural disasters, or just something that doesn't, well, it just means that the track probably wasn't maintained. And yes, I'm looking at you, Pennsylvania Central, Penn Central, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And that's also another thing I also want to uncover someday, is that Penn Central was one of the worst American railroads in American history. The Pennsylvania Railroad and the New York Central Railroad merged together and created the most bankrupt railroad in America. There was never any well-maintained tracks. The tracks were never really that good. Rolling stock and road power were too expensive because EMD and GE were just assholes, I guess. I'm sorry, guys. I've never done this kind of stuff before! Now, moving on with getting that off my chest, because, like I said, I've never really done this kind of stuff before, where I'm just yapping on the mic about whatever happened and what other people explained about. But rail fanning is a fun hobby for anyone to enjoy, adults, teens, and kids alike. Pretty much just any kind of age group, you can enjoy rail fanning as long as you have a nice, good passion for trains. But just don't be one of those guys where you're just literally at a crossing or a station platform with your silly iPad and tripod foaming over nothing but trains. I mean, yeah, seeing some rare power and some fallen flag railroads on trains here and there is one thing, but when you're just seeing like regular GEVOs and EMD stuff on your fuck, I can't. I just can't. I really can't. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep repeating myself saying this, but I've never done this before. It's new. It's different to me. Normally I do this like eye to eye with an audience, but that doesn't get a lot of views, really. Most of my stuff doesn't really get a lot of views. Hell, even rail fanning is mostly my Murder Drones plush shorts that got a lot of views. But I'm trying to do the best I can. I really am. And I'm sorry if I disappoint you guys. But yeah, then there's also like a bunch of other people who have done this kind of stuff before just for a bunch of views. Sebastian Dayong, a bunch of tiny other little kids. Because they just think that because they're rail fans, they just think that they're above the law. And people think that rail fanning is just a hated hobby. Like, we're not outlawed. We're not an outlawed hobby. We're just hated. We're just hated for the fact that it's just a lot of people setting up tripods with their phones, cameras, tablets, or iPads, or whatever the hell you want to have for filming or taking photos. Hell, even a camcorder works. But people just hate the fact that there's someone with their car sitting next to the relay case with all their equipment on and stuff like that, waiting for a train to pass by them just for a bunch of views and just to maybe document all this kind of stuff. But here's the thing, you'll eventually occasionally have the cops or something, or some random dude or woman pass by you, checking up on you to see if you're okay, because some random person called you out. Because, well, I had that happen to me before. When I was rail fanning, someone called the cops on me when I was out rail fanning. But the cops were just there to check up on me to make sure that everything was okay. I got a free ride after. I'm kind of surprised that the cops actually done me good. But yeah, but when you get called out just for watching trains, that is utterly horrible. Like, I mean, people care about your safety and all, yes, but you're literally just watching a bunch of machinery pass by you with a lot of rolling stock going from place to place, and yeah, yeah. There are a lot of young rail fans out there who just want to watch some trains, but it's either their parents who are super busy and won't even let them go anywhere because they're that strict and they want them to stay home and they stay safe. I mean, that's one thing, but then there's also like staying in city limits too until a certain age. Like me, I'm 16 now. I can take GO Transit to Aldershot, Oakville, and stuff like that. It's just as long as I give my family a heads up. But I briefly do apologize for my bad explanation on this. This was a first time and a first go. I'd say it would go pretty well if I were to show this to BNSF 1458 and the Winnipeg Railfan, and maybe some other people who do this kind of stuff too, for views and subscribers and stuff like that. Congrats on you guys. Congrats on BNSF 1458 for 10K subscribers. You're on your road to 11K. And the Winnipeg Railfan, I will check you out eventually, but congrats to you too. You're well on your way to 9K, so keep up the good work, guys, and I'll probably mention you guys in another video sometime. And Moist Critical, you did a good job yourself too, uncovering all the havoc that this kid caused, and hopefully he's held accountable. Probably just pay a fine because he is 17, accordingly, because of BNSF 1458. This kid is 17 years old, and hell, even if he were to be sent to jail, he would probably have to pay a huge fine at 17. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm signing off. Bye!